How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to Tour Life. Today is Tuesday, October 28th, and we are officially in the off season. Thanks so much for everyone joining us live. We've got PJ Mike behind the keys as always, and I'm joined by Gary and Yuli. Boys, how we doing this week?
Good. Getting back in the routine.
Oh, what does that mean?
Like the routine of being home.
Okay, what does that entail?
It entails like getting back on a decent sleeping schedule,
Okay.
waking up at a decent time. Lot of rain of time. Which is awesome. And then home cooked meals. Just yeah, there's something about a home cooked meal, man.
Give me like three of your top favorite home cooked meals you got.
Well, my favorite is Grandpa's chili. So this is a Mexican chili. It's not like like a cowboy chili. It's red chilies roasted and put into like a beef sauce.
Who's Grandpa's Mexican?
Huh? Mine.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Well, my grandma's Mexican, my grandpa's Spanish. And so yeah. And
I
so
never knew that.
Yep. And so this is a famous chili, actually. My mom opened a restaurant in Sholo and put it on her menu as Grandpa's Chili, and it was the #1 hit in the town. So it's really
such
good.
A good name. Such a good name.
And so it's the chili and then put like fried potatoes and beans and rice if you have it, and then tortillas, of course, or whatever your condiments that you want. And then my wife just made like a beef stew tonight.
Okay.
Which was really good. But it's just whatever she's making. Those, I think the #1 spot has to go to Grandpa's Chili, though. It's so good.
Gary, you got any favorite home cooked meals?
Oh yeah, I love to cook. I'm a big stir fry guy. So stir fry is really yummy. And then I like making some homemade like Indian food, some chicken tikka masala.
Ooh,
the heartwarming stuff.
Yeah.
Wow, that sounds spicy though.
What about you, Brodie? I know that last year you started cooking your own meals and stuff.
Yeah,
like
I'm not. When it comes to cooking, I'm not like crazy. I pretty much eat the same ingredients. I just change them up.
Yeah.
So
that's every genre of
but
food.
But I'm not like literally my meals. I have like 3 or 4 of the same meals. I have beef, rice, vegetables, or I have beef, sweet potato, vegetables, or I have beef, pasta. Yeah, I have chicken, vegetables,
right?
Chicken, rice, but I love it. It tastes good. But I will say I am a baker. That is what my specialty is. And I have this banana bread recipe. Whew, it's good. It's one of my go-to.
I like that. Nuts or no nuts?
No nuts. Do not put any sort of nuts in any of my baking items, please. How dare you? But yes, I mean, Doc is right. He was saying that I worked at a Subway for a very long time. So from a very early age, I have gotten used to eating the same exact meal or meals over and over and over and over and being completely fine with it. So
yeah, I'll eat about anything as long as I got a little hot sauce to put on it.
See, I'm a no sugar ketchup guy or a Chipotle mayo. I've gotten into the Chipotle mayo recently, and that is actually really, really delicious. Any disc golf for you guys this past few days? Since the last
It's
episode?
Been raining here. What do you mean? I played the Blazer this last weekend.
That's
remember?
right.
Disc golfer wants to know. Disc golfer, thanks for the $1.99. He says, Yuli, how did the local C tier go?
It went good. Just like I predicted, got pushed to the brink by a couple young studs. And I did come out on top, but they made me sweat a little, which was nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we got the job done.
Very nice. Now, are people, would you say, excited that you're in the field, or do you think the majority of the people are like, gosh dang it, Yuli's here?
I think it's both. I think that there has to be some excitement, and then it's like, it's got to be deep down, like it's gonna be tough,
Oh, here we go.
It was cool, man.
Oh.
It was actually really, really tight. I mean, there was a guy that didn't even have a PDGA number, and I had to buy one after the first round. I had no idea like what
Love it.
getting into.
Love it.
And it came down to the last few holes, which was really, really cool. The kids were making one of the kids made 5 40-footers in a row to start the round. And it's just the day and age we live in, man. I mean, Colton and Hunter both have to be either early 20s or, well, Hunter for sure was there with his dad, so I'm guessing he might be 16, 15, 14,
youngsters.
Yeah.
Hey, a win's a win, though. We'll take it.
Yeah, we'll take it. We'll take it.
Very nice. Gary, any disc golf for you?
Yeah, getting out playing, doing some content stuff. Got a really interesting disc golf email. I got an email from Guinness. You would understand this, Brodie, for approval to maybe attempt a world record in 2026. So,
did you send one out to them to see if
I
they'll
did.
do it?
I did.
Yeah.
I waited for the 3 to 4 months, and I got all the stipulations. So now it's a matter of putting the people together to make it happen and seeing if it's possible. So,
Gary, that's crazy. I was actually going to ask Brodie this episode what you have to do the Guinness, because I want to do one. It takes a while.
Yeah. Ask Gary, because I went backdoor method. So the way I did it was not the way that you can do it, I don't think.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. You got to send in.
They came to me basically and said, "Hey, we want to do stuff with you." So there wasn't any.
Well, Guinness, if you're listening, I have a pretty solid idea.
Oh, there you go. But yeah, Gary knows all the behind the scenes stuff of how to do it, I guess. That's awesome, dude. That's sweet. Hopefully it goes out, and I'll give you a helpful little tip. Barely break the record unless you're setting the record.
Oh, this is going to take everything out of me to break this record. So
okay. But that's the Guinness World Record people, because there are people out there that are Guinness World Record people. Mm-hmm. They're very similar to high jump and pole vaulters, where the pole vaulter might know they can clear 10 feet, but to win the meet, all they need is 9. So they do 9 and get the world record. And then at the next meet, they do 9 and 1 inch, get the world record. And this versus going straight to that 10. And then, you only got one of them. You got to get as many plaques as you can out there. No disc golf for me over here, but we did do well, first off, we got to shout out the podcast. Big shout out to us, guys. 30 year in a row, longest podcast, Grippy. PJ, Mike, Gary, you guys are getting it for your first time. Me and Yuli, this is our third. Welcome to the team, boys. Get used to it. The long hours, this is what we do it for right here. For all of our listeners and viewers, thank you so much. We're getting another Grippy coming away. Edwin, yes. Also, Edwin, thank you for making some of these episodes longer as well. So there you have it. 3 years in a row, Grippy. But as far as what I've been up to, still working on the back. Me and Kelsey had a 5K that was our B race. So we have our big 5K, which is going to be the turkey trot on Thanksgiving. But we set up this B race kind of in the middle of the training block. However, I'm obviously can't do the training block. So I was just going to show up and do my normal run walk, which is what I'm basically doing right now, running for a little bit, walking, running, walking. Kelsey was going to go for a PR. However, when I got on the run after the first mile, I was looking at my watch and I was like, I'm not going to finish my workout. My workout's going to be done and I'm not even going to finish the race. I was like, I might as well just start running a little quicker. So I ended up running a little bit faster towards the end. Kelsey ended up getting second place in her age division.
Wow.
So her second race ever, second place. So she's getting really, really fast. And to Yuli, to kind of bring it back to you at a C tier, I think we're going to eventually kind of get, the more races you get, the more you kind of can realize who's really fast and who's not, kind of right on the start line.
Yeah.
And so I think it might be the same type of thing of where down the road, I might show up to a race being like, hey, I have a chance of winning this thing. And then all of a sudden you see someone show up and you're like, because like racing, that's the thing with racing. It's way different. Like in disc golf, anything can happen. Like you could have a bad day. Someone could play incredibly well on an easier course and they could beat you, right? But in racing, if someone runs like a 16-minute 5K and you run a 20-minute 5K, it's not like you're just going to show up and be like, hey, today's the day I'm going to shave off 4 minutes.
Hopefully he starts cramping.
Yeah, like that's the interesting thing about racing is like the short distance, especially like unless you're right there time-wise, you have no chance of beating people.
Right.
So we'll see. I'm not anywhere close to. I mean, there was like 4 high school kids that showed up that all ran in like the sub-20s. So, but it's fun to get out there and run. Turkey Trot coming up. Let me know if you guys are running the Turkey Trot in your local city. That's a big one for most people around that time.
Not doing that.
No, yeah. I mean, if you're not running, I wouldn't advise it either.
I did start running for the first time tonight. First gym.
Like treadmill session?
Yep.
How was it?
It was bad. Of course. I haven't ran since last off season, so it was horrible. It was horrible. I could hear different sounds on the treadmill than I remember.
You'll get it. You'll get it back. It'll come back quick. Did Yuli or because obviously me and Gary were on the show, Yuli or PDG and Mike, did either one of you get a chance to watch the first episode of Imposter that dropped last Thursday?
No, I'm gonna watch that tonight.
Mike, did you get a chance to watch it yet? See if we can get any
that's crickets.
Crickets.
He might not have his mic set up.
He's watching it right now, apparently.
Yes, the production was crazy good. Okay. So yeah, right off the top, big shout out to Silas and Connor, who were kind of the main people responsible for the filming and the editing. And then you got to give a shout out to Hunter, Jason, and Brad, who were kind of all the behind the scenes producers kind of the show, making the show kind of run. If you watch the episode of this year's Imposter versus last year's Imposter, the production value is through the roof. Now, I think the only one thing, I mean, it really, like the beginning of the show, it really did feel like a reality TV show. I will say the one thing that we still kind of have to figure out is like once we got to the disc golf, there needs to be the one thing we're missing, and it's a little tough to do, but there needs to be the things of where we're sitting and talking to like the camera in a confessional after the fact, and they're able to cut that to parts of where is happening live. That's the only part, because it just seemed like there was a lot of disc golf happening at once, and there wasn't that much of getting into people's heads unless they were taking time away from the disc golf to go talk. But I will say this. The hardest part of the show, and Yuli, this is why I kind of want some other people on the show next year. The hardest part of the show is like the skill level is so low.
It's wide, very wide.
Wide and low.
Yes.
Is that it's like it's very hard. It's almost like the imposter really doesn't have to do anything sometimes, right? Because the skill level. People,
just be normal.
Shout out to Bear Bite. We voted Bear Bite. Oh, obviously spoilers. If you haven't watched yet, then whatever. But Bear Bite's first 3 throws, I think, combined for 70 feet, and they were all full shots. So it's like it's tough. But hopefully you guys enjoyed the show. I know a lot of you guys. I think on the off season we're going to start doing kind of weekly recaps over there of all the behind the scenes stuff you didn't see. I will say this, the sleeping in the middle of the night, and you'll see this, Yuli, when you watch it, they made us sleep in the warehouse. So I was like sleeping on a, what is it? What are those things called? Fontoons? No.
Fontoons.
Futons. I was sleeping on a futon, which honestly wasn't that. It was fine. You know, I didn't fit, but I made it work. But Hunter woke us up at like 2:00 in the morning, and I was in the middle of like a heavy calorie deficit. I was in the middle of lifting and running. So like doing all this already, I was kind of pushing my body to the limit and then like messing up my sleep. Sleep is so important. I've realized. I didn't decide it. It's been decided for a while, guys. Sleep is very important.
Yeah.
And so like when my sleep gets messed up, ooh, cranky Brodie. So Gary, you're lucky you didn't have to sleep in the warehouse.
Yep. You know, some of us did well enough we didn't have to. So,
all right. Do you have anything to say? Do you have anything to say about the first episode other than the production was insane?
No, I think it was great. One of the things that a lot of people don't realize that they were talking about is how there was so much more content filmed in episode 1 compared to last year. In fact, there was even, I heard someone was saying that there was almost as much content filmed for episode 1 as there was for the entire series last year. So what Connor and Silas were able to do, kudos to them. You got to watch it just for the sake of what they were able to put together. But it was a blast. Honestly, the personalities that are out there it's crazy. It's a good time. It was
Also,
hot. What people don't realize is this is probably the hottest week in Virginia they've had all year, because it was in like the low 90s and the humidity was 90+% every day. It was brutal.
Yeah. Also, one thing they didn't show in the video, and maybe I didn't say it to the camera or whatnot, but I kind of described going into the show that I was going to take more of a backseat role this year than I did last year and not be in everyone's face and telling people what to do. And then it cuts to like me telling people what to do. There were a couple people that had no idea what to do and they wanted advice.
Yeah.
So I was giving advice to those people.
To your credit,
I never gave advice to everyone else.
Yeah,
ever.
to your credit, I think people who are on the show watched last season and saw that it was beneficial to ask for advice, and so they came in like, give me advice. And yeah, definitely had to take it. I see Robbie C in the chat. Another great guy.
Yep. So this Thursday, episode 2 comes out. If you haven't watched the first one, definitely give it a watch. Episode 2 this Thursday. All right, folks. We were wondering when this announcement was going to come, or if the announcement was ever going to come. We have finally have an announcement from the PDGA. PDGA Executive Director Doug Bierkes says the PDGA Europa, I think I'm saying that right, Europa Cup is set to be the PDGA Europe's flagship event, creating memorable moments and setting the standard for elite disc golf on the continent for years to come. So there we have it. We were wondering what was going to be the name. What are our thoughts, boys? Europa Cup.
Europa. I think
Okay, well, I'm already 0 for 1. That's
you're
tough.
good.
That's
You're good.
tough.
I just don't. I want to know what is so complicated about getting.
Why is it Europa?
Because they're roping you in with the good content. It's I don't know. I can't understand why it wasn't, how hard it had to be to get the name, that we've used before. European Open is a really great name. Like, I don't understand the roadblocks. I think it's great to have a name and to be able to like attach something to it to develop that, consistency. But we're so used to changes being made every year. Who's to say that next year they don't change it again? I want to see more than 1 year consistency.
Yuli, thoughts on the name?
It's a name. I'm with Gary. Like, they change it so much that, I've played 6 different tournaments that were majors over there. I feel like of all kinds of different names. Oh, and when I say over there, I mean overseas. So, the Scandinavian Open, the Stockholm Open, the European Open, the Estonian Open, the Europa Cup. So I'd like to just see him stick with it. yeah, that's about it.
Yeah, I think the positives to take away here is exactly what Gary said at the beginning was at least it's a name. Like at least we have something. I think we can all agree the European Disc Golf Festival is not a good major name. That doesn't sound like a major event of competition. That sounds like a musical. I don't know. It sounds like something that's not a competition. So
Yeah.
I'm glad they went away from the festival and I'm glad they found something else. This does feel a little like soccery to me. Like I don't know if there is something similar.
Yeah,
In the soccer or the football space. Mike, you got something there?
Well, I just wanted to hop in. Europa is like the traditional like Spanish way to say Europe, and a couple other like Latin way to say it. So that's why you're thinking soccer, like the Europa League. Like most sporting, like it was like a European league instead of saying Europe. They typically do say Europa. Just I don't know why, but and I think I just want to say one thing. I think that the thing to talk about for this is it seems like what's ending up happening here is PDGA kind of swallowing another. Like it doesn't seem like the European Open is going to be a major anymore. Like that's what it seems like.
Yeah.
By this, so obviously they couldn't get the name due to the Discmania owning it, but I think the big story here probably would be that I think this name probably will stick around. But it's because the PDGA now owns a bigger portion of the majors, which I think was their goal probably from the beginning. So,
yeah, it seemed like with the European Open, they didn't really have that much control over the event or control over or the name. Now the question, begs, do we want to have an organization have like a monopoly over the majors? I don't think that's a great idea, right? So the PDGA right now, they have Champions Cup, they have the World's Championships, they have Europa, and then the only one that's not owned by them now is USDGC, right? And now maybe that's okay for right now because there aren't other companies that are in place, but the times I've been over to the European Open, I really enjoyed it. I thought it was one of the best run tournaments, and I think it probably was leading up to the World Championships that just went down. And so I think if I could have had it the way I wanted it, I think the European Open would have stayed as a major and have it run by the people that were running it. And this disc golf festival thing would have not existed. I think would have been the way I would have liked to see it versus the PDGA having another major.
Yeah. Or they could have purchased the name by getting rid of the magazine earlier. Use that money to get us that name. It's like it's one more column now in that on that website of another European major. It's just it further dilutes the cause. If they're going to do this, they've got to stick with it.
Shout out to Colton. Colton just sent $4.99. Said someone just texted me and said I was mentioned. What's up, gentlemen? That's one of your big competitors from this past weekend, Yuli.
Welcome. Oh, Colton. Yeah, Colton got second place.
Welcome to the pod, Colton. Congratulations.
What were his biggest weaknesses, Yuli? What were strengths, weaknesses?
Strengths. I mean, he made like a 80-footer with like 4 or 5 holes to go that if he missed, it was a guaranteed 5. So that was pretty cool. He went on some nice birdie streaks. He was fun to play with. Yeah, we had a good card. I mean, Sweet. It was good. He was a solid player for sure.
Are we nervous at all that the PDGA now is also going to be in charge? Like, do we feel like they have enough resources? Is this spreading them too thin to be doing 3 majors in a year?
You know what? I think it comes down to a couple things. Like the European Open, when Discmania was involved in and UC was doing it, it was ran great. He had a super team over there doing it, and it always felt professional. I mean, it's been going on for so long that it seemed like a major. Now, what I worry about is the World Championships is always going to seem like the World Championships for the most part because it's the biggest tournament, and that hype is going to elevate that major no matter what. The Champions Cup is all over the place as well. And so we need time to link these places in and give them time and a little grace to be able to figure out how to do this, because adding another one, yes, of course it's going to be more difficult. I mean, is it spreading them too thin? I don't think so. I don't think there's a bigger organization that can take on this workload, to be honest with you.
Well, it'd be more just letting the European Open keep the European Open as a major and the PGA not being involved.
Yeah, but do we know if they even wanted to, or if they were like, we're done doing it?
That is a good question.
So that's what I would guess. I would guess that they said, okay, this is the last one we're doing. Somebody else has to take it. We're done. And therefore, now it's going to take time for it to build up and build up and build up. The good thing about it is Estonia runs a great event.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, so I'm less worried about Europa than I am building something here with the Champions Cup.
Yeah.
I've always said that needs to be like, they need to have one location. I want one location for these places. I would like to see one location that we know we're going back to. You can learn it. It's this place. They can make changes, sure. But one location to me is super important, especially since the world's moves around all the time. That's fine. And if they do move it around, it has to be in great cities. So that's another thing that we, that we could worry about. So there's all kinds of different loopholes in here where you could find problems. Mm-hmm. And the only way to get past it is with time and letting them, guide the ship wherever it needs to be going. And you have to put your trust in them because they have it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like that this is the one they chose to do. I mean, obviously the timing is the timing, but having it start in Estonia with a solid core group of people there that want to see it succeed, it's probably the best start it could possibly get.
Yep.
Yeah, and the thing is with Estonia, like, we had the same talk right after because of how close it was to the Worlds and everything, and they really they caught the short end of the stick with all of that stuff. The course, everybody just annihilated the place. That needs to change, I think, unless it's going to be the major. You can have a major like the World Championships where you're playing two really great courses, championship courses to crown your world champion. And then I think, personally, I'd like to see the Champions Cup be on a wooded course. USDGC is USDGC. And then for this other one, maybe it is a birdie or die situation, and that's the major, because the facts are those are the three styles that we play on anyway. And so I'm not opposed to seeing somebody have to go insanely low to earn a major championship when that's a big part of disc golf. And I think a lot of people kind of shun that. But when we look at like popularity on the Pro Tour, some of people's favorite tournaments are Idlewild, right? Where it's like a short course where all kinds of names are involved, and Waco was actually pretty popular for people because it was like people could watch it and kind of be like, well, I could do that. That's maybe they could relate to it a little better. So I don't mind that, but we got to stick to something. We got to create a great tradition with these majors and give the players, here's another thing, give the players time through the years to kind of create an identity of, okay, I have to practice this. I have to practice this for this major. And you can see the players who kind of develop and are like best suited for the birdie or die. And that could become a storyline, and best suited for the World Championships. And because as time goes on, there's going to be more Gannons, more ABs and everything. And it's going to be tighter all the way around. And in order to create that tradition, like I think in traditional golf with all the different styles of courses and stuff, like there are certain players who are really good at like places that are just like putting is essential, and there's
Mhm.
really good players like a Tommy Fleetwood who's like ball striking is his thing, or the long ball is really important on like some of the US Open, like the way that Bryson like overpowered that one back in the day. So I think these are little intricate details that tradition is so important.
Yeah.
The thing about that is, and Brodie kind of mentioned it, like, do we think the PDGA can handle having all of these? We don't have to do everything like golf does. We've had that conversation before, but like there's a really good reason, and the PGA Tour doesn't own any majors. Like all of the majors are owned by its own private entities, and I think we're going to struggle to have different identities for these majors when it's all being ran under the same umbrella of a company. Now they can do their best to try to do some different things, but like this, I don't think it's a coincidence that the two majors that people always have thought were the best, or maybe not the most prestigious because Worlds is its own thing, but is the two that were ran by a company other than the PDGA, right? And Innova can think about this tournament all year long and make the changes all year long, and they're a for-profit company, so they're really incentivized to make as much money as possible, which give a good product as possible. Same with the European Open. So I think that like the two that had their own identities the strongest, it's not a coincidence that it's the ones not by the PDGA. So I just worry that with them owning so many of them, they're gonna kind of just look the same. Like we can put them on different courses, that's fine, but when it's the same people running them, the same people doing checks and balances, like they're not gonna have a unique feel in the way that like golf does.
Yeah, and you know, when it comes to Worlds, right? They're heavily reliant on the locals. They're heavily reliant on the people on the ground to kind of get things underway versus having their own team of people that are handling stuff. So we'll see how it all ends up. I don't think I'm a huge fan of one entity having 3 of the 4 majors. I think I like the idea of having those spread out a little bit, but we'll see what ends up happening.
What about, you think they can build it up to a certain point and then sell it? Is that something that's like possible and maybe they're thinking, or is that like to like next level? Like, you know what I mean? Like, are they taking the workload because nobody else can do it and they're waiting, and then they're like, okay, like this company wants it. Like if the Pro Tour wanted a major,
yeah,
could they buy it, or is the PDGA in a position to where like, no, we want it, we make money off of it. Like,
yeah,
I don't want anybody else to happen.
I think that's a phenomenal question. I think the idea of how much money is actually generated for the people that are putting on the tournament, I think is a great question. I think when it comes to, you know, other sports that are generating money hand over fist, they want, you know, every city wants the Super Bowl to come to their stadium, right? You look at golf, tennis, any of these things, people want events to happen at their place. It's not a, oh no, we don't want it, right? Now there's some rare occasions where certain country clubs have so much money and they don't want to piss off their members, so they actually will refuse and say like no, or you're only doing it one out of every couple years. I went to this beautiful course for, I can't remember what the tournament was. Northern Trust. I went to the Northern Trust one year. Beautiful, beautiful course. And I don't think they've gone back because when you have a PGA Tour event, it's like it
destroys
months.
The place too.
Well, it's also like months of not being able to play.
Mm-hmm.
And so there was a lot of members backlash of like, what the heck? And so that's, I think, a small minority, but I think the majority of people want it. Now, the question with disc golf is it like a thing that actually is going to make a lot of money? Because why else would you want to put on a tournament?
Yeah, that would be my next thing is, I mean, we give the PDGA a lot of grief from time to time on the pod, and one of the things that I feel disappointed in disc golf is if we have this thing called the World Championship, right? And it's the biggest tournament on the planet. Why is it not the most famous logo, the most famous everything pushed around? Why aren't they actually making it very lucrative, and branding this thing as, no, this is the crown achievement of any disc golfer, to where if I'm a little kid, I should know what the World Championship logo is. Like very similar to the Masters or something. So
I just don't have that person.
Yep. The closest we got was
so long. It's been
but that needs to be a position, like a marketing position or brand awareness, or I don't know the technical term for it, but
you
that's
can
like
make a bunch of money off of the World Championships.
That's a position that needs to be fulfilled, or maybe they have someone and they're just not doing a good job.
Yeah.
Like licensing that
out.
It
changes every year. Like the logos, excuse me, the logos change every year. Like, wouldn't you want it to just be, this is the World Championships, here's the logo. We can have side stuff and side stamps and whatever, but this is what it looks like. And then you just mass market that across the board and make it its own brand.
The way I would look at it is like Super Bowl logos over the years, right? They aren't the same every year, but the style
is
of those. Let me see. I can throw this in the chat. I don't know if Mike can throw this up. I just found this. So and you can see too, like over the years, they have changed the style too. They didn't have the trophy in there. Now they're starting to add the trophy. And I think that's something that's completely fine. But it's an evolving logo. It's where Worlds, I have a hard time even picturing what the last World Championship logo was.
I have no clue.
Yeah. Yeah, so you can kind of see, they just went basic text for a while, then they went into the Roman numerals, and then they had Roman numerals for a while. Then they went to the Lombardi Trophy with the Roman numerals. So, yeah, I don't know. I think
numerals throughout pretty much, though.
Yeah, once they got over.
No,
literally, from the beginning. You're right, Yuli. I couldn't see that; it was too small for me initially. But yeah, you're right. So yeah, I mean, I think there could be a lot of things that are happening, but the biggest one too, Yuli, and this is, I think, where the PDGA is always going to fall behind all these other entities we're talking about. All these other entities are for profit. They are trying to make money. And if they don't, they lose their job, right? Like if the Super Bowl happens and it's a flop for whatever reason, I'm sure a lot of those people are not going to be there for the next Super Bowl. They're going to find someone better. What's the incentive? What is the incentive for the PDGA?
To make money, hopefully.
But
it should be. It should be.
But they're not like looking to try to increase their profits or anything.
Yeah, but somebody who runs a tournament like that, that's what it should.
And I've always said too,
it should be to create big purses and bring in a lot of money for that area and make money on it for the PDGA.
And I think this is across the board in any sort of industry is you can get away with not being that great if you're like one of the first in an industry, right? Go back. A good example is like streaming. If you go back and look at the first kind of like streaming people were doing on Twitch for like gameplay, and then you compare it to now, it is night and day, the level of quality, production, everything like that. And so those people, when they first started, they didn't really have to change. There was no really other option. And so that's how I view the PDGA sometimes. It's like, I don't know if they necessarily really want disc golf to grow and get bigger, because then your job gets harder. More people want your job, or more people are going to criticize your job or what you're doing. Right. Like, is that crazy to think in like in a nonprofit kind of situation? Am I crazy to think that way?
I don't know, because I don't really know I don't know the ins and out of that kind of industry. I've never ran a nonprofit, so I would think even with a nonprofit, is there's somebody with a job to bring in money for a nonprofit. Like, it's still to bring in money, even with a not like. I don't think you're, just because it's called nonprofit, the guy's like, we didn't make any money this week, did my job. Like, it's a nonprofit.
Well, that's the thing, though, is they're making most of their money from the members.
Yeah.
Right. Didn't we see that from the little breakdown? Is like the majority of the money that's coming in is off the members.
Sorry,
yeah.
I didn't want to talk this much tonight, but companies who are nonprofits still want to make as much money as possible in general, but the money they make has to be rolled back into the business. That's a very, very simplified version of this, but like, there's no incentive of like a specific employee. Like, employees cannot have stocks of a nonprofit, right? So like, there probably isn't going to be bonuses in a nonprofit, like things like that. So kind of off what you guys were saying, but Brodie is still making the right point of like, as an employee, as a top executive of the PDGA, you're not going to make more money if things go really well, like you personally. And so when you have employees that don't have an incentive, then that stuff's not really going to happen. But yeah, in general, the type of nonprofit they kind of have to roll whatever they make back into the company or things for the community.
So is their number one priority to just gain members? I'm guessing.
Yeah, I mean, I think like nonprofits have to have like a mission, right? And so the mission would be to push out disc golf to as many people as possible, versus, you know, a company that's trying to make the most money. They're doing whatever they can to make the most money.
Yeah.
Let me give you a scenario. Let me just give you a scenario, and we'll end it here and move on to the next topic. You are in charge of running the World Championships. You're a few days out from the tournament, and you get a text at 11 p.m. at night. It wakes you up, okay, right? Your phone goes off. It wakes you up. You look at the text. It's something that needs to be taken care of. That's gone wrong. Needs to be taken care of. Who is more likely to take care of it right then and get on it at 11 o'clock at night? The nonprofit person or the for-profit person? I would say that more likely the nonprofit person is going to turn their phone off and say, I'm going to take care of that in the morning when I wake up and clock in for work. The for-profit person is going to be like, holy crap, I need to take care of this now. And I'm not saying that's what it's going to be like across the board for nonprofit. And I'm not saying from the PDGA. All I'm trying to say is the motivations. If you have someone and they are putting in their time, their effort, their money, their investment into an event, and if the event does great, they reap the benefits. If the event does bad, they're in a hole. I'm putting a lot more stock in that person to put more effort and time into it than the person that's just, it's their job. And as long as the event is run, whatever. And what I'm saying is the PDGA has a track record. We can go and look at the events that the PDGA has been in charge of and see, are there things that are missed? Are there things that are forgotten about? Did they not rent out a driving range for players to warm up? You know, like there are things over the years that we can see year after year and after year. And that's the only thing is like, I would love if the PDGA, and Yuli, you might be right. There might not be anyone that's willing to step up and say, hey, I'm going to take this on. And if that's the case, then I don't know what we do. But I just would love to see the change in the future of where the PDGA is in charge of the rules, the officiating, the eligibility, all those things when it comes to disc golf. and then the growth of disc golf, getting into schools, getting into the youth, doing that type of thing. And I would love for the tournaments to be taking care of someone that is trying to make money off their event and trying to put on a freaking good event.
And this only gets more interesting when you consider that this upcoming year is Nate Heinold's last year in his position, and he's stepping away. So is there some kind of play down the road of he'll become a for-profit event runner and pour everything into it, and maybe he buys off one of these majors and does all that kind of stuff? So I think that sometimes there is a crisis of identity of what we're going to be responsible for. And there's so many things that the PDGA is doing that it feels like they're doing okay at a lot of it, but not great at one thing or the other. So I think there's got to be some kind of realignment of goals and functions, but adding a whole nother major is concerning.
I mean, would disc golf fall apart if all of a sudden there was just the USDGC and the World Championships? And that was it.
That's how it started.
Yeah.
Like, would it fall apart if that's what it was, though? Like, I don't think it changes that much.
No, it doesn't.
And if that frees them up to focus on other things, then I don't know. We'll see. A lot of speculation coming over here, but we'll see. I mean, if you run a good tournament, you run a good tournament. Also, if you're not making money from a tournament too,
tough.
Okay, so something we haven't brought up on the podcast in a really, really long time, but Edwin sent it over last week. We didn't have a chance to get to it, but I thought we could do a little recap of the Manufacturers Cup. One of the reasons why we didn't bring it up, Discraft pretty much just dominated this season, just absolutely dominated the season. When you're looking at MPO player points, Discraft has 4 players on the MPO top 10. And then for FPO, they had 2 players. They actually had the first in Holland Hanley and then the third in Missy Gannon. So Discraft just absolutely dominated everyone. Now, some of the interesting things to take away from this graphic over the year. Latitude's signing of Isaac moved them up 6 places from 10th in 2024 to 4th this year. So getting Isaac, they really boosted their stock in the Manufacturer Cup, which is, again, guys, this is completely made up. Also, this is something that I think we should maybe mess around with a little bit more in disc golf, because I think this is a way of making disc golf a lot more popular and getting a lot more people to watch it that currently aren't watching it. Dynamics' loss of Ricky was felt with a drop of 5 spots. They actually, surprisingly, dropped below the open bag spot. So
crazy.
The non-sponsored players ended up actually gaining more points than Dynamic this year. Very, very crazy. Gannon led all MPO players in total points, almost doubling AB's points in second place. Like I said before, Discraft had 4 players in the top 10, while Discmania's full Sky team were in the top 7. So Discmania, very impressive. Holland led all FPO players. And obviously, we said again, Missy Gannon was in 3rd there. And Kristen, even though she didn't really play that much, she still finished in 4th, which is wild. And the only top 10 player that was open bag was Anakin. Anakin was top 10 player open bag. So hopefully she gets sponsored by someone, gets picked up by someone next year, because she had a really, really good season.
Yeah.
All right. Let's go into a little reaction video here. We're going to pull up Ezra and Goose did course rankings. Now, me, Ezra, and Jude did this a while ago. I think it was like outside one of our hotels. We sat down, and I think we did. I don't know if we did a tier list of courses. We might have just did like our dream course. So we were picking like the best holes. So we did something similar to this. But Ezra and Goose sat down and they tiered every course that we played this season. And we'll find some interesting courses in here. So do we want to start from the best and go down, or start from the worst and go up? What do you guys think?
Start from the worst.
Yeah.
Start from the worst. Okay. So on here in the F tier, they have Waco. Waco is sitting in the F tier. Yuli, Gary, do we agree? What are our thoughts on Waco in the F tier?
One thing to clarify, I know that Goose and Ezra talked about how they were trying to separate like their personal performance of these courses, and they were ranking these based on how well they fit as a tour course.
Mm-hmm.
So I think one of the points that they made was that Waco is just the shortest course on tour. It should be phased out in a number of different ways. To me, I think we have the same conversation every single year about Waco when it comes around. Is this course too short? Should it be there? I think, I've only played a handful of these courses. From a spectator perspective, Waco is a lot of fun to watch. That's what I'll say.
Yuli, thoughts, Waco?
I think a lot of these are going to be pretty similar. It's hard for me to be like, this is an F for any tour worthy. But I guess since it is a tier list and you have to put them somewhere, I mean, you don't have to put anything in F tier.
No, you don't.
You don't. I wouldn't.
Yeah.
I wouldn't put Waco in F tier. I wouldn't put any of these. I haven't played Turku in 10 years, so
yeah,
I can't really do that one. I think my least favorite was probably the one we played in Austin. Is that right?
Sprinkle Valley.
Sprinkle Valley was my least favorite.
They have that in the D tier.
And they have that in the D tier. I mean, Cascade Challenge, not my favorite place. I like that kind of course. I enjoy playing that style. But
Gary,
I think that Waco better than Cascade. I think Waco for sure better than what did you say that one place was?
Sprinkle
Valley. And Beaver State Fling is this is a detriment to be in F. Like
Gary, what did they make? Did they talk about this is simply just the course? This has nothing. Like, are they basically pulling this course up and putting it in the middle of nowhere? Because it's not about like the fans, the parking, the environment, the atmosphere. It's not about any of that. It's simply just if you were playing the course and no one was around and you had to decide if the layout of the course was good or not. Is that all that's coming into play here?
Yeah, it was the course's viability as a tour stop. They did mention things like if a place was located really well or the amenities and things like that. And then to point also about the tiers, they also said that being an F doesn't necessarily mean that these are like F tier venues. They wanted to try to balance all the tiers. So it's like these are the 5 worst of the group, not necessarily their F level courses. It's just they did
a tier list without actually doing a tier list.
They were trying to be very polite to a lot of.
But they should have just ranked. They should just rank them 1 to 20.
Yeah,
that probably would have been a lot easier. Yes.
Well, that's not because what they did is not a tier list. To Yuli's point, there could only be one F. Like
this is the worst. Yeah, this is the worst place.
This is not how you're supposed to do a tier list.
Yeah.
All right, so let's do one. Let's rank these in order.
Do you just want to? Okay. And are we going just off of the course itself, or are we adding in all the elements?
Sure, let's add in all the elements.
Okay, so we're going best tournaments.
Best tournaments of the year.
Best tournaments of the year.
Best tournaments of the year.
Some of these I don't even know what they are. Like, what's that second one in S?
Second one in S? That is Tampere, I believe.
Oh, yeah,
okay.
Tampere.
That's Tampere.
Go ahead, Yuli. What do you got?
Well, the best tournament. Let's go to worst. I think the worst tournament this year, as far as everything, amenities and everything goes, has to be Cascade Challenge, just because it really is in the middle of nowhere.
Okay.
Now, I think it's fun. This is a place that I would play all the time if I live there. I would love to play this all the time, but as far as like when amenities come in and the whole entire thing, Cascade's got to be at the bottom of the list for me.
It was tough to watch. It was probably one of my least favorite ones, like from a spectation perspective.
It was a fun course to play.
Yeah, no, it's a blast. I enjoy playing it. It's just that if we're gonna talk about Tour Stop, not a place I'm really
like you can't even watch half the holes if you're like there.
And then Turku, I wasn't there, so that's got to be at the bottom. And I don't think you have been there either.
No, I haven't played in Turku.
And then the one in Austin for me.
Sprinkle.
Now the amenities, here's the difference. The amenities at this place were spectacular. Like it was awesome.
They just need to chop down more trees.
It just wasn't. It just gave me like a deserty feel, and it wasn't that fun to me.
Okay.
And that's why like it wasn't that fun. And now this one's the other one that I don't have a blast playing ever is Preserve. I'm not a big fan of Preserve. I think
it's kind of a boring course to play.
I think it is, and I think that they did add a little OB here and there, but it's not one. And again, this is in the middle of kind of nowhere.
Yeah.
So that would go down there. Eureka, and is it just Eureka? And then so Eureka.
Yeah, they have all of them split.
I love a Eureka, so I'm not gonna put that one next. I would say.
What's this little Fox one?
That would be Swenson Park. So Champs Cup OTB.
Oh gosh, that's at the bottom for me. We'll just stack that one right up. Not a fan, never have been. It's just get your long disc out and let her fly. There are some really iconic holes there though that I do enjoy playing. PCS Open, also in the middle of nowhere. It's literally in the tiniest town of all time. Super fun. I'd put it in the same spot as Cascade Challenge. It's great. It's fun.
It would be a lot better if it was in a bigger city.
Absolutely.
You're right.
Day.
The Fox is Fox Run. That's my apologies. When I see Foxes, I always think Swenson Park with OTB, but that's
Fox Run.
Yeah, Champs Cup is on its own little list up there.
This is going to be tough to do without being able to put them up on each other. So I don't think I'm going to finish.
No, but you can how about do some of your best? Do some of your favorite.
USDGC is always fantastic.
Here's a point I want to bring up because this was the most probably viral contentious thing that came out of that video was Goose's statement about USDGC. He said, this to me was an A-tier course with an F-tier tournament. People say it's the second most important event of the year. It felt like a glorified A-tier.
Well,
yeah.
Well, there you go. I mean, I don't think people share the same sentiment as Goose on that one.
Did he have any context onto like why it felt that way for him?
He mentioned things like how pros didn't have access to practice the course the same way they do at most places, so the course was shut down for them for a few days. That there were players, tour card players, and players in the top 50 who weren't even able to play this event, and that some of the awarding of USDGC spots seem really odd or uneven in a way that the best players aren't always given the opportunity to play in the event.
So real quick, both of those have nothing to do with being an A tier.
Yeah, I mean A tiers you have to sign up on time.
I know, but I'm just saying.
I'm just saying.
He's claiming it's an A. It was like an A tier, and the two things he listed, neither one of those things have anything to do with an A tier.
Yeah, I think he's just more pointing out the fact that he does it's one of his favorite courses, but just the way the event is ran, it's not his.
But having to qualify to play it makes it to me more prestigious than an A tier.
It is a little bizarre where they find their qualification.
Well, it's an NFL run event, so they're gonna put it at some events that make sense for them.
Yeah, I think yes, but when you have the M in front of it. that's when it becomes a little tough for me. So I do agree that the qualification and everything is a little bit silly. And I said this before on the podcast that I think the Monday qualifier is silly. I think that they can do a Monday qualifier at any course, anywhere. It doesn't have to be at the USDGC, and they don't have to close the course in order for you to be like, hey, I played good at the USDGC
I think
course.
they would get a lot less people though, Paul.
I don't know. There's no chance. They would fill it up. They'd fill it up.
Oh, that is true, because they are. That is true, because they do get full, and then you can't. Yeah, you're right. I agree with you.
So I think that should just be done at a different course. It could be done here in Charlotte. That's fine. We have plenty of courses. And if you play good at that course, wherever the qualifier is, because we have to qualify on different courses. Who cares that the Monday qualifier is there?
So what else does he not like about the tournament?
I believe the other one was that he was not a fan of the changes made to the event, and they felt a little wonky. And I also, if you watch their course preview, I know that there are some parts of the course that just don't seem to his liking. So those were the three main points they brought up about the event that just made it feel like it was not Pro Tour quality. In fact, I believe he called it one of the weakest fields they play this year, which I don't have to look that up to know for sure.
So one of the cool things I think they could do to change, and again, this is one of those things where it's like, will they ever do this? Because I think they do like having some of these events as a qualifier for USDGC. I think that gets a lot of people to sign up for these events. But if they could ever change it to where it was a top 100 world ranking, that would be sweet.
Well, I think an easy one for it is the top 32 qualifiers get in to the Tour Championship. The top 32 qualifiers get into the USDGC. Now you don't have to worry about those spots at all. And then you can, but it would be tough because now the other maybe it's from the previous year even. Like the top 32 qualifiers for the Pro Tour previous year get in next year to the USDGC. Now you have open spots, smaller open spots, but now you can give them away, and now you don't have to worry about your, not getting in type thing, because top 32 players in the world who play on the tour, who are the most recognized players, like those are the guys who are going to be playing it anyway. Those are the guys who are going to be taking those spots. Like you're not going to see anybody in the top 32 in the Pro Tour finale not get a USDGC spot in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think just having it set up something like where you have like the top. The thing I don't like about the USDGC right now is they have it usually where you could finish like 30th at an event, but like everyone in front of you is already qualified, so it drops all the way down to you.
Yeah.
I think it would be cooler to have like the top 100 in the world get a spot. And then if you ever get like a top 10 at any of these events, you also get a spot.
Yeah, there's different ways of doing it. Better ways.
Yes.
Yeah.
Without a doubt. But that doesn't change the fact that that's going as like probably my number one. As far as that, I think Ledgestone does a great job. I think those courses are awesome. Eureka and Northwood Black complement each other very, very well. I think as I'm looking at this list, the Great Lakes, I mean, they're obviously, it's tough to complain about that place. I mean, that is by far my worst tournament every single year because it's a long, like, intense battle of like distance and I guess stamina even. So I'm personally not a fan of that type of style, but I can't deny that course is fantastic.
Give us one more top course.
Tampere. It's
All
awesome.
Right.
Yeah. It's obviously awesome.
Well, let us know what you guys think. What was just some of your favorite courses that you guys got to
Beaver
watch?
State Fling, though. Let's talk about that for a second. How is that an F?
They hate that course.
They do.
They really hate that course. And I agree with some of the holes. Some of the holes.
Yeah. So
aren't
No, but
great.
isn't it paired with the other course?
No,
Yeah.
No, they're
be
talking about each
separated.
course individually. In fact, that's
Oh,
the biggest
okay.
split
Oh, I get it. I get
because
it.
they have
I thought that they
Glendevere
were
and
just
S.
saying that tournament, and I'm like, Glendevere's like,
they have that in S.
yeah, Glendevere. Okay, good. Okay, never mind. I'm
Yeah, so
good. I'm
they're
good.
just
We can move on.
yeah. Okay. Yeah, they don't like Milo.
Milo, no.
Okay, Gyropalooza. Am I saying that right? Gyropalooza went
Gyropalooza.
down. Gary, you had a question for me and Yuli here.
Yeah, so this was a Gyropalooza is a meeting of all of I would say the super fans of MVP. They did a thing this year with like mystery boxes to win tickets to go be there. They bring in MVP's team, they put on different kind of putting events and all this stuff. They bring them into the warehouse, let everyone custom stamp discs. And it has a lot of people talking about how MVP is kind of over the past few years pushing past where it was as like the fourth or fifth most well-known manufacturer, and now they're becoming one of the top dogs. Do you think that more manufacturers should be engaging with their fan base like this? Maybe not necessarily an event to go tour the warehouse, but do you think that manufacturers should get more involved with their fan base? Because I think the idea of like a gyronaut, the people who are diehard fans of MVP, I don't know that I see that as hardcore for other manufacturers as I do for MVP fans.
Yuli, you want to go first?
I mean, I think that this happens all the time. I mean, Discraft runs a lot of big events, and I don't know, the Great Lakes Open, I feel like is that type of thing to where if you're a big Discraft fan, you're going to the Great Lakes and you're seeing the clinics getting run, side games, side everything, signings, different drops. Brodie, you've been there to where you have discs being dropped here and there, and so, yeah, sure, you could spice it up and have a birthday party for it, I guess, and make it its own thing without a tournament there. But I think it's kind of the same thing, to be honest with you. Like you're having your big event and disc in Michigan, 30 minutes from the warehouse. That's kind of what they do.
Yeah, the only difference I would say between the two would just be one's like closed and one's not closed, right? So
yeah,
you can, even though Discraft is the main sponsor, it's their tournament at Deglow, I'm pretty sure there's other companies there selling discs as well. So it's that would be the only thing, is having a completely closed off event where everything is Discraft. There's no other players that are sponsored by other companies. There's no other companies disc there. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, what was some of the reactions of the people that went? Did everyone enjoy it?
I guess they had about 600 people there. Simon did one of his vlogs of it, and just a lot of people said it was about the intimate nature of being able to spend time with pros. Because like you go to an event, right? Pros are there. It's an obligation to be there, but it doesn't feel the same as like, hey, this thing was made to spend time with the pros, to like feel like we're part of the family of this manufacturer. And I think as we look around to like the growth of disc golf, you have to look at what MVP has done over the past several years. In fact, you could argue that all thanks to the Holy Shot, that MVP is where it's at now. But you have to wonder like how manufacturers are going to continue to be more competitive as the big dogs kind of separate themselves away from smaller manufacturers. So having these types of, not necessarily events, but I'd like to see what it looks like for more manufacturers to engage directly with their core fan base. Because you've got like Innova and
that makes sense.
Discraft.
Yeah, I like that.
You got Innova and Discraft who I think have a lot of fans because they have been the big dogs for a long time. They're the Red Sox and the Yankees. Everyone's heard of both of them and they like their stuff. And MVP is like that team that is kind of coming out of nowhere, the underdog that's now a competitive team that has a diehard following in kind of a different way. So I'm curious to see like what the big manufacturers will learn from the rise of MVP to drive and foster more engagement, where it's like, I'm not buying this because I have to buy it. I'm buying it because I buy into the whole what Discraft means, what Innova means, that kind of thing.
No, you explained that really well. Yeah, I like the idea, and yeah, to have an event. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense to where they can, like you said, the tournament's a side thing. There's no other manufacturers around. It's like this intimate thing to like feel like you're a part of something. Yeah, makes a lot of sense.
And it would go hand in hand too with if disc golf ends up going more the team route of where it actually matters who's on your team and for winning something at the end. So we'll see what ends up happening. But yeah, I'm all for companies using the players that they're paying to benefit them as well. And also to give back and to make some really cool opportunities for the fans out there.
No, I definitely see the point. I mean, MVP guys are ecstatic about their players and their discs, you know? Yeah.
You had one other topic you wanted to bring up, Gary?
No, I'm trying to think about like the growth of the sport. We're in the off season now, so you see tons of posts from every pro, every company, like, what are you working on this off season? What are you doing that? And a lot of people were talking about like the growth of disc golf. And so one of the points that I wanted to bring up was there was a relatively, I don't want to say small, but a newer kind of Instagram account with these guys called the Ace Bros. And they brought up the idea of they're watching like what Barstool does to bring together a bunch of creators for this like, worldwide style event. What are we doing in terms of how do we get more creators involved to grow the sport? And what can we do to just take disc golf to the next level? And it has me thinking about like where we as like a podcast within disc golf space, like what our responsibility is for the growth of the sport. It's not necessarily coming up with like what we have to do, but it just has me thinking about as we grow the sport, there's so many different people involved in content creation and different pros and different companies. Like, how do we all collectively make this thing bigger? Because if we continue to raise the water around us, a rising tide lifts all boats. It just has me kind of thinking about where disc golf is going and content creation, especially with you guys. You guys understand that, you both have a lot of experience in content creation. And like, it's just, I don't know, it's an interesting thought experiment in my mind.
So the thing that I always struggle with when this question comes up, because the last two Frisbee sports that I've played, disc golf and ultimate Frisbee, very similar conversations are had. How do we grow the sport? How do we get more people interested? How do we get more people playing, watching, all this stuff? Do you think that's also being talked about like for a professional yo-yo?
Yeah.
Probably
Right?
the diehards, yeah.
They're probably like professional yo-yo people are probably trying to think as well, like, how do we get more people doing it? How do we get more people paying attention? Now, we're not.
Sorry to interrupt you. I just watched the winning world champion yo-yo performance yesterday.
Okay. Wow.
Mind-boggling. Go watch it. It's unbelievable. I couldn't believe what I was watching. Keep going. Sorry.
So why I brought up yo-yoing is I think sometimes we have to look at other sports, because I think sometimes you're so locked in on your sport that you might not have a better worldview of where your sport's at. Can we all agree that like yo-yoing, like there's not really that much they can do?
No, I think they can do a lot. It's just
we can't agree with that. You think there is things that because yo-yoing has been around for a really long time. You think there's things that they haven't been doing or haven't been trying?
I think it takes a special person to pull sports forward. I think that like it takes a special personality, like Brodie, you and I and Gary. Like, for example, like I have the type of personality that I can come on here and people for some reason like to hear me talk. Not everybody has that. And yo-yo, I haven't met any super charismatic yo-yoers that really bring my attention to yo-yoing.
Okay, cup stacking.
That's a tough one, man. You're really
Rubik's cube. Rubik's cube.
Hey, professional tire rolling. I've seen that this weekend.
My point, Yuli, is all these things I'm bringing up, if you were actually in it, they would be having the same conversations that we're having now. And the biggest stars, the biggest people that are in their sport, they walk around like Paul Macbeth, like Gannon Burr. Like, it's very, very similar. The only thing is like, at the end of the day, you're doing something that a very small group of people enjoy and like.
Mm-hmm.
That's ultimately what it is. Like, the majority of people.
Yeah, but there's always something you can do.
But I also wonder if you look at
I hear what you're saying.
If you look at the disparity between people who watch disc golf casually or watch like the fun creative stuff and the people who watch professional play, there is a very large gap there. So like, could people within the sport get people to engage on the professional level more in a way that makes, and I'm not talking like, let's get every single person, but we're talking 5 to 10% growth. Is that the kind of thing that opens a door for a larger sponsor? You know, like, we take the baby steps in certain areas. Like, how do we get conversions from the casual watchers into more than casual?
So let me give you another example, because this one might be a little bit easier to think about. Running. How do you get people? Because there are tons of people that run, right? That do races, that do all that. How do you get more people that are actually doing the sport to pay attention to races? Or is it just one of those things of where running is a sport that there are so many people that love doing it as a hobby, and that's all it is for them? It's a hobby. They spend their time doing the thing, and they don't spend their time consuming the thing. Whereas football, majority of the people that they can't even play football. So they're spending their time consuming it, not playing it. Right? I think there's two different sports. I think there's one that's like, people actually are proactive in doing the sport, and that's the majority of the people. They do the sport, and they're not going to waste their time where they could be doing the sport on watching other people. I think that's disc golf, and I think it will always be disc golf.
I'm never saying that. I'm not saying we suddenly get all, like, you know, combined, however many people there are who view casual content or play casually to suddenly start watching again. What I'm wondering is if the one side, the side that controls the casual consumer, can take steps to showcase what is possible through something like a creator cup, like they did before. And then you take the professional side and they work on things like making the pro tour more palatable for casual viewers. Like, is there a way that the sides can do their job a little bit better and make meaningful 5 to 10% growth? And like I said, that's enough to bring in somebody else, and then slowly it gets a little bit bigger. I'm not looking to convert everybody all at once. It's just, what can we do? Like, is it going to be another year? We're going to make it to the end of 2026, and we're going to be in a similar place we are now and go, okay, there's another year done. Like, what can we do in 2026 to get that 5% more people to view?
I think the problem is keeping the people.
Yeah,
I think that's the biggest thing that disc golf is going to have a struggle with. Is you might get new people in, right? And they might watch, but then it's like, how do you get that person that watched the first time to continue to keep coming back?
Yep. And that's the job, I think, of the receiver. Like, you've got the people who are kind of ushering people in, and then I think you got to ask the pro tour people like that, like, well, how can we get people to stay longer? You know, it's an interesting thought experiment to me of like, I think a lot of us tend to think that other people are doing things, or we don't think that, like, we participate in the growth of disc golf all that much. But if we all collectively had the mindset of we could make this sport better, if we all kind of did our part in our individual area, what could disc golf be in 1 year, 5 years, or 10 years? I don't think it's going to be a football, baseball, soccer. It's never going to be at that level.
I want to go back to what Brodie was saying about watchable. And I don't think that disc golf falls into that category. I truly don't. I think that
It's not.
I think that the way that it's filmed right now and the way that it is pushed out to the masses, for sure, I agree with you. But when you look at how fast we grow in a very, very short amount of time, that I can't agree with you with that, because like you said, yo-yo's been around forever. Listen, like miniature golf has been around forever. There's certain things that have been around for a very, very long time. I don't think we're going to ever be as big as football or blah, 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 blah down the line, but like skateboarding, snowboarding, different things like that, I think we can be there. And I don't think that falls into that same category either. I think that falls into the people who are into those types of things, like watch the X Games and they look forward to that. So I think if it's done correctly, there will be moments through the year that people could watch us and really enjoy it. I don't think it's going to be palatable for a whole entire season like golf or like a football or whatever. But I do think we could have a few main events that people look forward to watching and that holds their interest.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, we'll see. I think it's just a sport that you have to play to want to watch. So that already limits the amount of people that are going to watch. And then
not necessarily.
I don't think that's true. See, I don't think that's true.
It's fascinating enough to get first-time viewers. The number of people I know who watch just because I tell them to, and they see the thing fly and they're like, "Holy
really cool."
smokes!" Yeah.
So it's not filmed correctly. It's just not filmed correctly. And I think we made that point earlier this year when we saw Matteo, maybe it was last year, Matteo aces hole 14 at MVP Open. Like, that was filmed on a camera on a phone, and the way that they got the flight is actually pretty captivating. And if we could figure out a way to film it correctly to where it's clear, obvious how hard it is and how cool it is to see somebody actually throw it through a tight fairway with slow-mos and the whole entire thing, it can captivate an audience. I know that.
Okay, can we let's try one other brain experiment here, thought experiment.
Okay.
Can we all agree that there are certain, and we're just gonna go to the United States right now, because I think this might be a little bit of a cultural thing, but maybe not. But let's just think United States. Can we all agree that there are certain desserts out there that are more favorable than other desserts?
Yes.
Yeah.
Like ice cream, for example, right? We see a lot of ice cream shops.
Yeah, there's a ton of ice cream shops.
A lot of ice cream shops.
There's a ton of candy bars.
Frozen yogurt, right? There's a bunch of candy. There's a bunch of cookie places, right? What we don't really see that many of is pies. We don't really see a lot of pie shops. Right?
There's pies everywhere.
There's pies everywhere, man. I don't know what you're talking about.
It's not as popular.
No one's open. I'm saying specifically,
nobody's opening a bakery.
I've seen cake.
Man, from the self-proclaimed baker, this is surprising.
There's bakeries everywhere, brother.
The bakeries sell cookies. Bakeries sell muffins.
And pies.
Ice cream places sell ice cream.
Yeah.
People go there for ice cream. I'm saying you're not saying what I'm saying. No one's opening up a shop that just sells pies.
The pie,
right?
the pie crib.
You have to sell a bunch of stuff. Why?
Sounds like a good idea. If nobody's doing it,
my point is pies aren't bad. We're not saying pies are bad. We're just saying vanilla or ice cream is more popular.
Yeah.
So I'm not saying disc golf is bad. It's just there's other sports out there that are more popular.
Yeah.
No, other
right, yeah,
sports
I
have
get
been
that.
around longer.
Yeah.
I can't
I
agree
don't-
with you on this. I just can't because
I
there-
don't think that's it though. You.
I really do. I really do. I think I really think that if you think about watching golf, for example, is the most, if you've never played golf, is the most boring, dumb thing to watch. They hit the ball and they point it to the sky.
Yuli, golf
Brodie.
is one of the most popular sports to play.
Of course. Yes, I know. Brodie,
I'm not talking about watching. You're taking.
You think
you're
when-
not. I'm talking about specifically the sport itself. I'm not talking about.
You think
watching.
everybody played golf in the first 50 years, bro?
Golf is also like
I think golf
800
was,
years old.
yeah, I think golf was very popular when it
Like
yeah, golf's not a really good example because it's been around for a while. But what I'm saying is culturally in our the way golf is set up right now, it is set up in such a way that if you're any sort of business person, you're going to go golfing at some point.
Sure.
You're not going to go disc golfing. You're not going to go into the woods and play disc golf.
It's not.
It's just
Yeah, but it's
you're,
also.
you're also not going to go play basketball, right? Like
Yeah.
there's certain sports, like golf is one of those sports that a lot of people can play for
Basketball
a really long
is
time.
everywhere, and it's free everywhere.
I will say, I think I lean towards Brodie in this discussion, but I will say to Yuli's point, like disc golf has grown. The amount of people playing disc golf in the first, let's call it 50 or 60 years of its existence, is more than almost any sport ever. Like in the first 50 years of golf, it still was only like in one country, and like only like a few thousand people were playing it. Like basketball, only a few thousand people were playing basketball the first 50 years of basketball. Like in terms of like first 50 years of a sport, disc golf is surpasses all the major sports except soccer.
And again, we're not going off of, you can go off of two different ways, right? You can go off of playing it, how many people are going to play it, and you can go off of how many people are going to actually pay attention to the sport itself, right? And I think I understand what you're saying, Yuli, with the time thing, but also there's some sports that have been around for a really long time that aren't popular. Wrestling.
And they were never popular, and they never went on a streak of being popular.
What?
They never went like this, poof, most popular in the first, however, and then just went, poof, and then completely nosedived.
You're talking about like CrossFit? Is that what you're saying, like something like that, like a fad?
People still CrossFit. What are you talking
Brodie,
about?
I'll push back on like wrestling. Like if you're in the niche of wrestling, like there's multiple college.
Mike, that's what I'm talking. That's what I'm talking about, though.
Way bigger than disc golf.
Oh yes. Oh, disc. Yes.
If it got to that would be.
That's what I'm trying to say. I'm saying it's okay. I think it's okay that we all really enjoy a sport that is not it's again, it's the pies. You go out to dessert and they're ordering ice cream. This guy's ordering candy. This guy's ordering a chocolate lava cake. And then you're like, I'll take a blueberry pie. You're in the minority. The majority of people aren't getting blueberry pies for dessert. Doesn't mean blueberry pies are bad.
Let me have a rebuttal real quick. Let me say something really fast. Okay. I hear what you're saying, and I hear your comparisons, and you're making sense as far as the comparisons go. But I don't like the comparisons. What I want is I want you to compare disc golf to another sport that you get outside and you do an activity like disc golf or basketball or something to where it's like an outdoor activity.
Running.
No, it's not the same. Like I'm not going to sit there and be entertained by watching people run on a screen. Like I'm not going to, that's not even close to being
but Yuli, that's my point. Some people find that very entertaining.
Sure. Yes. But what I'm saying is
that's my point is like, you can't fathom people watching running and find it entertaining.
No, I
can't.
Like
people can't fathom watching disc golf and find it entertaining. And the amount of people that can't fathom watching the NFL and finding it entertaining is way smaller than the people that can't fathom disc golf and can't fathom running. That's literally my point. My point is disc golf is a very niche thing that's specific to a very niche group. And it's not all of a sudden going to blow up to where a bunch of people are going to be like, hey, that's something that I want to try, or that's something I want to do.
I don't think so. And here's why. Let me make one more point. Sorry, Gary.
No, you're good.
An athlete, okay? Any athlete in any sport, for the most part of what I've seen, who have played disc golf, absolutely love it, and they get addicted if you take them out and you give them the right tools and they get on there, and then they literally love this thing. You can take that same athlete and take them and go axe throwing, and they're not going to enjoy that as much as they do disc golf. Two very niche things. One highly addictive, the other one highly addictive. But what I've seen personally is that one can captivate somebody way faster and hold their what do you call it? Their entertainment part of their interest for a lot longer. And you're a perfect example of said thing. You were in tried it.
I think you're agreeing with me. Axe throwing, there's going to be less people out there that think axe throwing is fun compared to disc golf. I would agree with you. I don't think axe throwing is above disc golf as far as people that try it thinking it's fun.
But statistically, disc golf is
way down there.
Right now, yeah. But I'm saying
I think there's also a larger disparity between people who watch it professionally and watch it casually.
Time out though. So does that mean axe throwing has the ability of getting higher?
I think any sport with the right person could get higher. See, here's the thing, and this is like the impetus of the whole conversation is, I think to a larger degree, Brodie, you're 100% right. Like disc golf is not going to be one of those sports. I'm not talking about let's blow disc golf up to the moon. I'm talking about what can we do to increase it 5%, because 5% is meaningful in certain regards. So it's like, can it grow? Absolutely, it can. Can it grow to the level that baseball and soccer and football? No, it's. I don't know that it can. It maybe 1,000 years from now we find that's different. But the whole point of this whole thing was that if we all collectively worked together or found a way to do so, could we grow the sport in a meaningful enough way that it would have a significantly positive longer effect, or a significantly more positive effect long-term on the sport of disc golf, if instead of just all sitting around doing what we're doing and we're just here in the same place in 5 years, could we expedite the growth of the sport in a meaningful way if we tried? We really tried.
To Brodie's point, it is tricky to have a sport that it seems counterintuitive, but there's not very many sports that everybody does personally that they enjoy watching. Like those don't really exist. Like golf is really the only one. And I mean basketball, but people aren't consistent. Not that many people are consistently playing basketball. Like pickleball. Pickleball exploded. More people play pickleball than disc golf currently, but nobody watches competitive pickleball. Now you could say it's boring. Maybe people think disc golf's boring too, but I think that like it is tricky to have a sport that people want to play actually be watched. But I do think the biggest problem is, just to Yuli's point, how it's being publicized, how it's being recorded, how the content's being accessed behind a paywall. That's a debate among people. But like, because in terms of golf, only like 10% of people who golf watch golf. Like it's not a very high number. But so, and I think you just said there's 5 to 10 million people that disc golf multiple times a year. So like if you found a way to get 10% of that audience to enjoy watching, then obviously that's a big jump. So I think when you have something that people are interested in and it is relatively exciting to watch when done correctly, it will work. And I just think currently it's behind a paywall, hard to access, and it's not recorded properly. I think those are the two biggest things.
Yeah. And my point really at the end of the day was some of these sports have the luxury of being something that is very entertaining, right? And so they can be terribly run, but people will still tune in. I love playing board games. You're never going to pay me any money to watch someone else play board games. If you told me, hey, the world championship of blah, blah, blah is on right now, you want to watch it? I'd be like, no. And I just think that's just at the end of the day, that's kind of what disc golf is. There's different categories of sports. There's ones that people like to watch, and there's ones that people like to do. And disc golf is in the one that people like to do. And I don't think there's a way. And I'm agree with Gary. There are things you can do to get more people to watch, but I don't think disc golf can ever shift from what it is currently at right now. It cannot shift from the sport that people like to do to the sport that people like to watch.
I do. I think it's the filming. It's exactly the filming, because there's no other sport where you can throw the disc, and if you film the disc actually in flight correctly, going through the woods and doing the things that we can make it do, if you could actually get that recorded in the proper way, it would be way entertaining. I don't think it's filmed properly in order to do that. That's all I'm saying. I think disc golf is unique in that regard, to where we actually have something that could captivate the audience to an insane rate that doesn't have anything to do with the actual player. Like, personalities are super important, but our game has a really unique thing to where a disc in flight caught correctly is actually very entertaining to me.
That's my whole point, Yuli. You're the blueberry pie guy, and there's nothing wrong with the blueberry pie.
I don't think I am. I think that if you there's a reason why, like, certain disc golf shots go viral,
but not everything can get like crazy though, Yuli.
Do you think, Brodie,
what are you talking about with crazy?
I'm saying there's too many things out there that you're saying right now that you think that throwing a Frisbee is awesome and is great. Okay, there's probably someone out there saying that they think that pole vaulting is awesome and great. And there's someone that says that archery is awesome and great. And someone that says bobsledding is awesome and great. At the end of the day, there's not enough people to watch and consume everything if everyone thinks what they think is awesome and great. That's my point. That's why there's ice cream shops, because that's a business that has seen that they can make money.
Brodie, do you think to someone who doesn't really have any context to how difficult it is, they would find a perfectly thrown disc through a fairway or through trees more interesting than watching a golf drive?
That's the big issues. There's a lot of people, because I know you guys are using antidotes of like, I brought an athlete out to try disc golf. They fell in love with it and loved it. I've also have had a lot of people watch stuff that I have thrown, and they're not impressed. Hunter has a story about, I think, that when he brought Liz out for the first time and he threw in from like 150 feet and he was going nuts, and she's like, isn't that what you're supposed to do? To me, it's like, it's the mini golf. It has a lot of the mini golf situation of where there are some people that view it and think it's awesome. I was that way with Ultimate Frisbee. I thought the flight of the Frisbee and it floating up there and someone running and jumping and catching it is incredible. Guess what? Ultimate Frisbee has not grown. The people that watch Ultimate Frisbee tournaments are the people that were playing at the tournament. And I know there's going to be some people out there, oh, I drove to the tournament and watched. Okay, it's not anywhere near the level of other sports we're talking about. And that's like my whole point.
Well, I think golf, that happens too. If you don't know anything about
disc golf is higher than Ultimate Frisbee as far as tournaments go. Yeah.
If someone doesn't know anything about golf and they come out and watch you golf,
it's the noise.
They're gonna, but my point is, they're not gonna realize how difficult you did.
Oh, yes.
You know what I mean? So I think that still exists for that. But again, I think people know how hard golf is, but I see what you're saying. If they had no idea how hard something was and they saw you do it, then that's going towards marketing it to make it realize how hard disc golf is, or convincing people it's hard. But like, because I think golf has the problem you're talking about. Like, I think golf has the problem that you're explaining disc golf as, to where people don't want to watch it, they want to play it. So I don't think I don't think that has to be fixed. I think you just have to get more of that group convinced slightly to watch.
And but you have to get more people playing it, because it's going to come from the people that are playing it.
But I mean, I would argue we have enough people playing it that disc golf could 5, 6, 7x how popular it is to watch it right now. There's millions.
That's the other part is there's no infrastructure underneath that. There's a reason why most people, the people who aren't going out to buy that blueberry pie, aren't buying the blueberry pie because their mom didn't make blueberry pie or any kind of pie when they grew up. So if we take the infrastructure behind it and we help people understand, like get disc golf in schools for kids, get these communities outfitted with what they need to do disc golf, showcase the collegiate side of disc golf a bit more, I think that's it adds to that. Can we get more people who understand what disc golf is and get access to what they need to participate in it? Maybe they'll watch it more. Once again, I'm not saying blow it up for in the world. I'm saying 5 to 10%.
Can we just all agree that there are some things in this world that are really fun to do and aren't fun to watch someone else do?
Building a fire.
Can we agree to that? That there are some activities that we enjoy doing ourselves, but we don't want to watch someone else do those activities. And I'm just saying there's probably a lot of people that feel that way about disc golf.
About everything. There's always about everything.
About everything, but I'm saying that there's more people that feel that way about disc golf than other things is what that's my whole point. I'm not saying
I bet you that if you did the percentage, Brodie, of people who play disc golf compared to people who play golf compared to people who play football, there's going to be different, but I bet you the percentage of people who actually play disc golf and watch disc golf is pretty damn high, whether it's YouTube.
I'm not disagreeing with that.
Or as far as the percentage go, I think if we give it time, I do believe this. I'm going to make my last point. I do believe that it is captivating enough to watch disc golf to where there can be 2 to 3 tournaments a year where we get a ton of views. Like it is, oh, disc golf's on. It must be that tournament. Like I'll turn that on. Like I think it can be that entertaining. I don't think it is right now. I honestly, I don't think we're close. But I do still believe that there is a way to film it and to get to that point.
So there's a lot of disc golfers too. There's a lot of disc golfers that disc golf is like their thing. Their life is revolved around disc golf. That's what they do. They didn't play other sports. Disc golf was the only sport they've played. And I think that's where that maybe that number that you're saying, because I agree with you. I think the number is definitely higher. The amount of people that play disc golf to watch disc golf, that number is probably higher than the amount of people that play golf. And when we say play, we're talking about once a week, once a month, something like that, right? That number of the people that play golf compared to that watch golf, that number is way smaller than disc golf. I completely agree with you. But again, I think the people in the golf world, a lot of those people, there's a lot more casual golfers. There's a lot more people that are casually golfing, similar to how there's casual people that watch disc golf. I don't know. You guys see what I'm saying with that? Like people
I don't think that's right though. I don't, there's more people watching golf. The ratio for golf's much better. We don't have 500,000 people watching disc golf consistently.
Wait, you think the ratio is better in golf?
It definitely is.
I was agreeing to you with
there's there's probably like I don't even know how many millions and millions there's probably 50 million people who've played golf before.
Yeah,
there might be more than that.
100 million.
26 million people play golf consistently.
Okay, and you're telling me that they have a higher percentage as far as who plays it casually or who have ever played it watching golf compared to the 5 million people who like how many people actually play disc golf casually but consistently?
I think this person has a great point. Discraft Junkie says disc golf needs to become more of a team sport and not sales based. I think that's a good point.
Like 30%, 20 to 30% of people who golf consistently watch golf at least occasionally every year. And that's not true for disc golf.
Oh,
there's 5 to 10 million people that play disc golf on a regular basis.
And there are YouTube videos on Jomez.
Okay, if you're talking about that, I agree. But no, I agree 100% with that. Like watching a YouTube video or something.
You have to add in the Joe
That's the fault of the PDGA. That's the fault of Disc Golf Pro Tour. That's the fault of the top of the tops not bringing in those people in a way that can monetize. That's their problem. That's their fault.
100%.
I agree with you, Julian, in the case of like, if we look at how many people have watched the 2022.
It's insane. It's an insane amount.
No,
Yeah.
that doesn't count. That doesn't count.
How does that not count? They don't have an option.
Yuli, because I have videos that have 42 million views that if I walked in front of people, they'd have no idea who I was. Clicking a video doesn't matter. What matters is how many.
That's a viral trick shot. We're talking about a sport in general. And here's
people click on it and then immediately kick off of it, Yuli. What I'm talking about that should count is post-produced, like the week of views should count. That should count, not a video that gets somehow thrown up, recommended next to a really popular video, and it's got a thumbnail that a bunch of people click on, and then immediately click away.
Okay, if you say that, and then there's some PGA Tour events that don't get a lot of views.
There's enough
in the week of.
I'm agreeing with you.
Point, the ratio of how much we're pulling in to the live content, like you said, the live content is what matters, Brodie. I agree 100% because that's where the money is, that's where the growth is. And what I'm saying is, Yuli's right. But the problem is the top of the top people, the people who are trying to make money, should be doing the right things, aren't doing a good enough job of pulling those people in who are casually watching on YouTube, who are watching more than one video, who are watching Yomez, pulling them in a way like they're not giving them a reason to want to watch it live.
I mean, if it was free, we would have way more views. It's a paywall blocking them.
No, I agree. That's what I'm saying. You have to count in, if you're doing the ratio, you have to count in what Jomez is getting, because disc golf hasn't switched over from one to the other. Disc golf, you have people that just watch post-produce and you have people that watch live. So you have to count both of them. All I was saying is you can't count a video that is X years old and has a lot of views now. That doesn't count because that's algorithm stuff. And we don't know if people are actually watching the whole thing. You got to look at what people are watching, consuming like the week of. I think that's a better idea of how many people are actually watching it.
That's the fault. I don't think that's the sport's fault. I don't think that's the sport's not interesting to watch. I think that's the fault of the people pushing people to live coverage. Because what other sport do you hear someone say, oh, I prefer watching it after it happened?
No,
that doesn't exist.
Yeah.
So the issue is the people giving us the product. That's the issue.
Yeah, it's almost one of those things. I mean, I love Gomez, but it's also one of those things of like, what if it didn't exist? What if the only way you could watch tournaments was live?
So this is a thing that, like I said, I think it's going to take time to even know what we can do. And I'm not going to be the type of person who goes, nope, don't think it can even possibly get there. I hear people say that we'll never be football, we'll never be baseball. And it's that small-minded thought process that isn't going to get us there. I believe in my heart it can get, like I said, to the point. My imagination goes to where the World Championships of disc golf airs once a year and we get 15 million people watching it. I think it can get to that point because so many people will have played it. By the end of it, in 15 years, you're going to be able to talk to almost anybody and they're going to be like, no, I played disc golf. I know what that is. So therefore, when they turn it on and it's on the thing, they're going to stay tuned in for a little bit. I believe it, as long as we can film it the correct way. Now, if they turn it on and it's the Disc Golf Network, it's going to get turned off pretty quick because that does take a super fan to sit there and watch that for 3.5 hours. But if you turn it on and it's a production like a Super Bowl or something like that, to where it's a fun, inviting, like the visualization of the thing captivates the audience, I think it could be fantastic. And I think we could hold viewers.
Question for you guys. How many online viewers watched the World Championship of Tag?
Like the YouTube video or like live?
I think it might be the YouTube video.
That stuff's electric. It gets millions.
I've definitely
that
seen
stuff
it.
is awesome. Yep. It's like the playground where they're chasing each other.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
Yes, it's freaking awesome.
Electric.
500,000 people online viewership.
Hey, disc golf's more popular.
However, in person, 6,000 people watched in person. not something that you could probably have a whole bunch of people go watch because you probably don't want to be super far away from it to see.
Probably 600 people who thought they were meeting up for Game of Tag, and they were a little disappointed.
Yeah, I mean, obviously we don't have the luxury of
When I was a
multi-million
kid,
dollar-
it was nobody catching me, bro. It's just
Oh, God.
if the answer to the question of can the production be a lot better, if the answer to that is yes, then like you're leaving so many people on the table that would probably stick around if the production is better. So like until then, like we're not assuming because if the live coverage was like incredible and we were seeing the numbers we're seeing and not really growing, then yeah, we're capped. But like when it's as poor a quality on a consistent basis as it is,
well, it's the people who will pay, so they're gonna hold their palate.
It goes back to my blueberry pie. If you're gonna open up a pie shop, you better make sure those pies are freaking good because when someone comes in and gets one,
those bad boys,
they're not coming back.
That's
There's a
Brodie's
couple
next venture,
places-
Dark Horse Pies.
there's a couple places in the area that like they're known for their pies. Like that's why people go. There's not very many of them, but they're always busy.
If you're in the chat right now, this week, go out and get a slice of pie in a pie shop and send it to Brodie
Or eat
with
a
a
local
picture of you
pie.
eating the pie.
I love pie. I bought a pie like 2 weeks ago. Cherry
I love
pie.
pie too, but there's
Tag
no
him in
pie
it.
shop.
Tag him in it.
If there was a pie shop right next to you, would you go?
You know, it's another shop that doesn't exist. A brownie shop.
Brody,
They
no one
only
goes.
sell
It's
brownies.
called a bakery.
You know what makes pie better?
Yes, they have to have all those things because if they only made one, they wouldn't work.
I don't know.
You know what makes pie better?
What?
Ice cream.
Yeah, a nice little ice cream on a blueberry pie. Me.
All right, what do we got next on the agenda, boys?
Yeah, that was fun. We haven't
Yeah,
we haven't
thank you.
done that in a while. Okay, we got let's see. Okay, here we go. This is a good one from Johnny Riggs. He goes, I've heard Yuli talk about the importance of branding for beginning pros, but this season I feel like I didn't see much original, compelling personal content. These kids are being put to shame by you guys, Simon, Ricky, etc. Do you have advice for them to start the offseason?
Me?
Yeah. You can go first and then I can say
It's a
something
tough
if I
it's a
need to
tough
at the end.
atmosphere to get into for sure. It's like anything. You just have to keep doing it over and 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 over, and it might not work. That's the cruddy thing about the whole thing. But you're never going to know until you keep doing it. The one thing that I see when people are like, "Oh, check it out. I started a YouTube channel or I started my Instagram," is they get burnt out over a very short amount of time and they quit doing it. And you'll never know. And it's like it's a dangerous road to go down because you could put a lot of effort into something that might not ever become something big, but you won't ever know until you give it 100%. So I think my point with that is manufacturers in this day and age want to see you working. And if you don't have that, that's a red flag. If you do have that, even if it's not very popular, the fact that I tune in and I see, oh, he has a YouTube, he posts every single day. Oh, he has an Instagram, he posts every single day, or she posts every single day. That tells me right away that you're a hard worker. You're serious about your business. And if you're good, those are all green flags in an area. And I'm going to look at you more than somebody who doesn't have that.
So let me push back a little bit. I think it's important.
Why wouldn't you? No,
I think it's important, especially after what we just talked about, that there are players that just want to be players. I just want to be really good at disc golf. I don't want to be a social media influencer. I want to be really good at disc golf. And you see that across the board in other sports. I just want to be this. You don't even see, they're not on social media. They're getting posted by other people, but they themselves aren't doing stuff. I think that's important. I think if you're coming into disc golf with the idea that you have to post on social media, I think you are doing it the wrong way. I think right now it's unfortunate the way that social media has turned into, because initially what social media was people posting on it that had something to say and wanted to share something. That's what social media initially was. It was not, no one went to social media when it first was created to make money. And so the people that were posting simply were doing it because they wanted to share something. When I started, and this is coming from someone that has hit over 1 million followers on pretty much every single platform I've been on. When I started, I just wanted to spread what I loved, and that was throwing the Frisbee. I wanted to spread that, and that's it. What I wasn't making any money. I wasn't even a thought that that was going to be a job. It turned into that, but initially initially it wasn't that at all. And what I think is happening, and what you're saying, Yuli, is completely right, of like people burning out or people not seeing positive things, so they're changing whatever. If you're a professional disc golfer, your number one goal should be a professional disc golfer. Guess what? There's other people out there that suck at social media. They might not be very entertaining. So stop trying to do something that you're not good at to begin with. Now, if a company comes to you and says, hey, we need you to do this, that's something that you need to figure out. Is that something I want to go down that path? And if you don't want to go down that path, then maybe go to a different sponsor, or maybe don't be sponsored. But the idea that everyone has to have a social media, everyone has to say something about everything, everyone needs to be posting practice round videos. What you end up getting is a bunch of people that are posting content, and it comes through the screen of they don't want to do it. They're just doing it because it's a job. And for social media to be successful, and yes, there's a bunch of people out there that are putting out a bunch of AI crap and whatever. And there will always be those people. But to be really successful on social media is to do something that you love, share it with the community that you love, and end it at that. It doesn't always have to be at the end of the day trying to make more money, trying to get more views. And if you're only chasing that, you're going to miss the big picture about what social media was created in the first place. And that was creating a community, connecting with people, and sharing something that you want to share. So I'll say that because Yuli, you do have a point. And if you see someone out there grinding and working on it, then maybe you might give them a chance. But I would also argue there might be someone that's not posting on social media because they're grinding on the course. They're
practicing. And how do I know that, Brodie? I ask
results.
Results. Right.
But that's the risk you're taking. That's the risk you're taking is I'm going to bet on myself and go that route. There's not a correct route. I'm just saying that everyone has to be on social media. That's what I'm saying.
Determine what you want to do, what you want to align yourself with, and just do it. Be a student of it, you know?
You agree with me there, Yuli, that you can be successful both ways?
I think it's hard. I think it's yes, of course. But what I also think is this question's coming to me from somebody who isn't to a Gannon Burr level or to a superstar level. Sure. Like obviously that guy I'm going to see, and he doesn't have to have anything. But when you're on that lower tier trying to move your way up and get seen, you're not going to be getting seen any other way because first of all, in order to be seen, you got to go to tournaments that cost a lot of money. There's plenty of players who won't ever get seen unless they post their stuff at their local place and show the world. Otherwise, no, I don't agree.
Yeah. And my point is this is social media to me shouldn't feel like a job. That's kind of how I look at social media. It shouldn't feel like a job.
I think it's a job for me.
Yeah, and it makes it hard for you to continue to do it when you think it's a job.
Yeah, but Yuli loves doing it too.
Yeah,
there's a different. You can both see something as a job and love doing it. I love working. Find what you want. And lean into it.
Gary, that was my point more of like most people when they think of something as a job, they are like, I have to go do this because I have to go pay the bills. That you did a better job of what I'm saying, Yuli. So I guess we agree on this is like, if you don't like doing social media, if you don't like being in front of the camera, if you don't like talking and filming and doing all that stuff, don't do it because it will come through as unauthentic. I think that's kind of my point. If that makes sense.
So what do you suggest for the kid? There's a kid, okay?
Okay, give me a scenario.
This kid's like coming up and he's getting really good locally. Not quite good enough to win at the pro tour, but he's or at like a pro tournament, but he's really, really good. And he calls up a manufacturer, and let's just say like he's like the locals know that he's getting really good. He's talented. His ceiling is insanely high, and he's looking to get a spot on your team over there at Foundation. Okay.
Yeah.
And he calls and he says, yeah, I mean, I'm getting pretty good. I'm playing really well with like the locals and everything. And I kind of would like to be on your team. And then similar kid, little who's worse, calls you up, gives you the same spiel and says, hey, here's some YouTube content that I created of me playing. And here's my Instagram, which I've been really working on to get myself seen. Who are you giving it to?
Yeah, and this is what the state of disc golf currently is at, and maybe it's
I'm asking you.
Well, Foundation, yeah, we wouldn't really necessarily
just Brodie Smith in general. Like you're gonna give $200 to one of these guys.
Yeah, you're in that regard, you're going to give it to the person that's going to get more eyes. But my point is, the person that's doing it, if they're not enjoying doing it, if they don't like making the videos and stuff,
yeah,
it's not going to get better. That's kind of my point, is like,
yeah, I hear that. I don't, yeah. No, if you don't like working, you're not going to probably make it in disc golf anyway. I don't know. I feel like there's,
yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think there's going to be something that happens to social media. I don't know what, but something is going to happen in the next 5 to 10 years when it comes to social media, because it really has turned into everyone viewing it as, hey, this is where I'm going to make money.
Yeah.
It's a science. It's not an art anymore. It's a science.
Yeah. Versus this is where I'm going because I want to share my story, or I want to share a skill that's going to help other people. I think it's turning into, how do I make money off? How do I try to generate as many clicks and views on my stuff, versus how do I create quality content that people want to consume? Does that make sense? I don't know.
No, it
Black
does.
Mirror.
Yeah, I
episode,
see that.
Yeah, it's a Black Mirror episode all over the place. It's happening. All right, let's do one more question, because this is kind of a long episode, but it was a good one. Let's see here. Ooh, this is a great one. We're gonna bring this one back. We'll end it on this. Do you guys consider chocolate a candy?
Yes.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. 100% I do.
Wow.
And I think you could sell pies I think a pie shop could do really well if ran properly.
That's right. That's right.
What kind of question is that?
I don't think.
What are we talking about?
I don't think chocolate's a candy.
Yeah, but you don't see food as a thing of enjoyment. You see food as a fuel. So I can't.
It's literally like a chocolate bar is like a candy bar. Like a chocolate is a can. It's literally called a candy bar.
I don't think a milk chocolate bar. I would not say, if I asked someone, hey, can you get some candy? And they brought me a milk chocolate bar with no M&Ms in it or no fancy things.
Is it a size thing for you?
What is candy? A sweet food made with sugar or otherwise sweeteners? Chocolate.
I think chocolate, though, is like its own thing. I think you can add chocolate to candy, but I think chocolate by itself is its own thing. Snickers is candy.
Not all candy is chocolate, but all chocolate is candy.
No. Is anyone seeing what I'm saying?
We all see
Hey,
what
look,
you're saying.
Captain M doesn't even know what I'm talking about. He says M&Ms are chocolate. Yeah, guess what M&Ms have? Candy coated. They're candy coated.
No, it's the whole thing. It's an M&M. It's a whole thing.
No,
candy.
it's chocolate inside. That's candy coated. Look it up.
So if you had,
You're
telling
at
me.
me.
No.
This.
My grandmother had.
All
real
right,
severe
here's the
like-
perfect example. This is it. This is the one. Is a Hershey's Kiss a candy?
No, it's just chocolate.
Oh, you're done, dude. I trapped you. You're done.
It's just chocolate. The pure.
It's a candy for sure.
No. If you gave me a pure now the ones that are swirled, that has like the little nuts in it,
the hugs.
that's got like the nuts or whatever.
No.
I view chocolate differently than candy. That's all it is. I view it differently. Twix, candy, Butterfinger, candy. These things all
Hershey's
have chocolate.
Kiss in a bag. Big bag of chocolate.
I'm just saying, if you're like, hey, get some candy for me,
And I brought over Hershey's Kisses, you'd be pissed.
I would be pissed. I'd be like, you could have gone Mamba, you could have gone Starburst, Skittles, Now and Later, Mike and Ike's, Twizzlers.
You like Mike and I?
What's your favorite candy?
Mambas,
Mambas, really?
raspberry flavored.
Raspberry Mambas are fire.
So good.
Gary?
Also, banana Laffy Taffy's up there too.
Favorite candy? The light blue pack of Skittles.
Ooh,
The-
tropical.
the
That's
tropical Skittles.
Tropical's pretty good.
See, that's what I'm saying. Don't
Mike?
come at me on candy, Yuli.
I'm gonna get roasted for mine. I don't know
What
if I
is
want to say it.
I have a one, but I don't think it's candy. So
Is it
Mine's
chocolate?
what is it?
Lemon heads.
Lemon heads. Okay.
Wow.
That's
I like
weird.
circus peanuts, but a lot.
See,
of
he's a blue. He's a
Circus
blueberry.
peanut?
I love circus peanuts. They're good.
See, these are blueberry pie disc golf answers right here. There are people out there that really enjoy them. The masses are not going to enjoy it.
I
It
like
is what it is.
a Reese stick. Probably my
Reese's
favorite
stick.
candy.
Reese's stick, really?
Reese's sticks.
Uh,
Yeah.
Oh, dude.
Reese's crunch.
They
is what
go
they're called, right? Or
crazy.
They're sticks.
They go. Have you had one?
The best Reese's is the
Brodie, have you
the
had one?
egg. Yeah, I've had everything.
Okay.
I've literally have had everything.
Yeah, they go. They go.
Reese's
they're
egg is the
bonkers.
best Reese's, and it's not close. The Reese's egg is the perfect combination of
fast
chocolate
break.
to peanut butter. But if you think that just straight chocolate is if someone says, "Hey, I'm taking you to a candy shop,"
And they
and
don't
you
have a
walk
straight
in-
chocolate
no,
in
no.
there, it'd be
and you
wild.
walk in and it's all chocolate,
Oh no.
you're
Love it.
pissed. You're like, "This isn't a candy shop. This is a chocolate store."
Is
You
caramel a
think that?
candy?
Caramel's a flavor,
Mm,
an ingredient.
caramel's not a flavor. You can
Isn't-
make caramel.
No way.
You can make caramel.
No, I think
Okay, hold on. Liquid caramel. If we're talking about
Is caramel.
if we're talking about the basis of caramel, like liquid caramel, I would not consider that candy. However, those little caramel chews,
Werther's.
that is candy.
I lost you then. I was trying to.
So is a chocolate
ingredient.
chew a candy?
I think with caramel, it matters about
So
the
a Hershey
consistency.
Kiss is a
Hershey Kiss is
candy.
I think candy
'Cause-
can't. I think candy for caramel can't be in liquid form. I think it has to be in solid form.
So a
Which
Hershey
is what
Kiss
chocolate is,
candy.
as
What?
solid as it gets.
So a Hershey Kiss is candy.
Okay, caramel and chocolate are two different things. Those are two different things.
Yeah.
Two different things. I love
Yikes.
caramel.
I thought the chocolate thing was gonna be a quick combo. I was hopping in to say that Brodie's been wrong this whole time about the pie shops. There's more pie shops than any other type of shops in existence because pizza's pie. Pizza's pie.
Oh,
Oh, there you go.
Wait, is pizza really a pie?
I don't know.
I think for it to be a pie. Okay, we won't go into
Hey, in some regards, pizza is a sandwich.
All right, coming up this week, guys, we've got some Foundation Discs and custom stamps dropping. Go to foundationdisc.com, check out the new Foundation themed Ace bags. some stamps that are coming up. We got the Heck Yeah, the from MVP, the Modern from Innova, Build Your Game 2-foil Discraft, and the FDG Crest 2-foil Discmania. We also still have the sub box. So if you're trying to get the Climo Disc Golf collab box, you have until October 31st. Use the code CHAMP, 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 to get $5 off your first box. And we have the Heiser Club Championships in 2 weeks. Gary, are you excited?
I am pumped to be there. I can't wait to come back.
That'll probably be the first time I play disc golf since D-Glow. So we'll see how that goes. Also check out Break 60 with Connor on the Foundation YouTube channel and watch the episode 2, season 2 of Imposter this Thursday. Yuli, you got anything for the people?
Same thing. You know what? Discraft's awesome. Vessie's pretty sweet. You know what I did want to say? I wanted to thank the Pro Tour. I want to thank the Pro Tour.
Hats off to the Pro Tour.
Yeah. For providing a sweet platform for a lot of people to go out there and do what they love. I don't think they get enough pub. And I was thinking about that today. I'm like, I'll throw them a little thank you.
Heck yeah. Yeah. Shout out to the Pro Tour. Hey, you know what? I'm going to shout out to all the volunteers throughout the whole year. That's what I'm going to shout out. Shout out to all the volunteers. Unfortunately, you don't get thanked enough. And then when you mess up, we have a whole episode about you. So that kind of sucks. But you guys do make a lot of the tournaments happen that we attend. And very curious to see what the comment section says about tonight's show, because I feel like we had a lot of good debate on tonight. Yeah. Debate night's done, but hey, we brought it over to Tour Life tonight. So yeah, shout out to the chat too. Mitch, shout out to Mitch, shout out to everyone else in the chat. Good episode. Anything else? You guys got anything? All right. That's it. Thank you guys so much for listening. Take it easy.